Oh boy. So back in 2005, man, a shoe drop that became the stuff of legends, right? It wasn't just a sneaker. It was a statement. There was only 72 pair made. Think about that, right? In terms of today, 72 pairs, no app, no online drops, no backdooring. This was a release that basically kickstarted the whole sneaker collaboration culture that we, I guess, live in today or love today. However you want to eat that, that's what we're in right now. Nothing matters unless it's a collab. This was the shoe that started it all. Now, almost 20 years later, after all the rumors and the waiting, 20 years, bro, that's crazy. It's finally here. Now, the big question is, did Jordan Brand bring back an icon, or did they just mess up a total masterpiece? Today, we're gonna get into all of that. We'll look at the history of the Jordan 4 Undefeated. We're gonna break down every detail of the 2025 retro release of the Undefeated 4s and see how it looks on feet. And then I'll give you my final verdict and let you know what I really think about this shoe. But with all that said, man, let's get into it. Now, to really get into why this shoe is such a big deal, you have to picture the sneaker culture was completely different. Like, in every sense, the sneaker community was different. It was much smaller. It was more about the community. And to think that a boutique could get its own Jordan was unheard of in 2004. But then it comes Undefeated, an LA brand with deep military and athletic roots, became the first to do it. This wasn't just the new colorway, it was a total game changer. What they did was they took the Air Jordan 4, a shoe that was already legendary in its own right, and they completely flipped it. And by flip it, the inspiration was this thing, the MA1 flight jacket, a military staple. And me being in the military and retired from the military and being around a bunch of aviators, this was a definite nod straight up to the aviation community, because you see that flight jacket, you know it's time to get down for business. This gave the shoe a totally different look. It was tough, it was functional, and it was just cool as hell, to say the least. The upper was done in a beautiful olive green nubuck with sharp black and orange accents, a color combo that is now legendary again in its own right. But there was one detail that really set it apart. And we already know what it is, man. It's that Velcro tongue patch. It was a direct nod to military flight gear, something you could remove and customize. No one had ever seen anything like this before on a Jordan sneaker. And then comes the rarity. Let me get close. There was only 72 pairs of these made. Again, only 72 pairs. Most of them went to friends and family, and a tiny number was raffled off. And when I say a tiny number was raffled off in store, I really mean a tiny number. And in today's world, it was damn near impossible to get, which made it become a true grail, a unicorn that you'd only see in old sneaker pictures and old sneaker forums. But this wasn't just a shoe. it was a piece of history, which made it go for tons of money when it was sold at auction. And this was a thing that proved that a boutique could tell a story on a Jordan, and it opened up the door for every major collaborator that came after. So, and fast forward 20 years, bruh, 20 years, and here we are. Jordan Brand and Undefeated dropped this retro on August 2nd of this year through the Undefeated raffles, right? So it was in store and online with a wider sneakers release planned for the 28th of this month. The first thing you notice out the box is the box. They brought back the silver Jordan box from the mid 2000s era. It's the perfect nod to the 20th year anniversary and instantly takes you back. It's a small touch, but it shows that they really respected the original moment. Now, for the shoe itself, right? Retail is set at $230. We'll get into that in another video about these sneaker releases and their prices that have steadily increased. Now, I paid about $270 for mine because I got them through the Undefeated raffle, and they tacked on the EQL fees and a whole bunch of other fees. So $270 is a kind of steep price, but that's okay. But the quality is really here in this sneaker. The upper is covered in that premium deep olive green suede. Now mine, I didn't have any QC issues with mine. This is an absolute flawless pair. It is incredible. With the flat, rich texture, the color looks amazing on these. And again, another faithful nod to the original, which perfectly captured that military feel from the MA1. Yeah, I gotta get me one now just because they brought these back and now I actually have them and I need to get me one of them MA1 flight jackets, but that's fine. See the black accents on the shoe and on the wing and the midsole, right? Definitely gives that sharp contrast, as did the 05 pair. And of course, you got the hits of vibrant orange throughout the shoe, the tongue liner, the insoles. Bro, it's all there, man. That gives you that safety orange feeling that's laced inside the MA1 jacket. Again, a nod to the military. Now, the Velcro patch on the back is just as cool as it always has been. We got these in the Rare Air 4s this year too. It gives that nostalgic feel inside. And of course, bro, we got bright orange insoles. You really can't ask any much else from these, man. Again, a premium sneaker, man, that definitely gives a nod to the OG. And I don't feel like Nike really slacked off on making these just to get the numbers out, just so they can give us what I want. So let's talk about the single biggest differences between the 2025 retro and the 2005 original. Number one, the heel tab. The general release comes with the Nike Air branding on the heel tab, which I think is freaking phenomenal. This is massive for us, like me and a lot of other collectors. This is massive. The Jumpman logo, which was on the 2005 pair, has been saved for an even more exclusive Friends and Family version, again for 2025. Honestly, this was a brilliant move on Nike's part. So what they did with that was it lets people like me enjoy the public version that we've been asking for years. A high quality retro with OG branding while still keeping the super limited version for the hardcore people with the deep pockets, those type collectors, and honoring the spirit of the original. Now, to top it all off, there's even a Air Jordan Renegade jacket inspired by the MA1 to complete the story, which Yeah, probably not gonna be able to get my hands on that. I'm probably 8,000 years too late for getting that, but it's out there. All right, so now that we are about halfway through, and I gotta say, I'm seriously impressed. If you're enjoying this look at one of the greatest sneakers ever made, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Why? It really helps the channel out, and it lets me know what type of videos you actually like to see here on the set, because we have a unique channel where we cover a lot of things, not just sneakers. We cover sneakers, electronics, and occasionally toys, hence the set. Okay, now that we have these things on foot, the Jordan 4 Undefeated is just an absolute killer. That olive green is way more versatile than you think. It's an earth tone, so it goes perfectly with black jeans, dark denim, joggers, of course camo. The pops of orange are subtle enough that they don't scream for too much attention, but adds that just the right amount of flair that you need, right? Something kind of like the military, right? It has that same quiet military-inspired authority that made the original look so cool. But for me, that orange, 100%, these orange laces are gonna stay in. Now, for sizing. My advice for Jordan 4s is almost the same. Go true to size. I have two pair of 4s and 13, and I absolutely hate them. Now, if you have a wider foot, you might want to think about going up an extra, a half size, maybe, since the 4s tend to be a little more snug at first, but once you break them in, you're good to go, right? So I'm good. I got a size 12, and this size 12 actually fits really great. So let's get back into the question, right? Did Jordan brand really resurrect this icon, or did they just ruin a masterpiece? For me, the answer is obvious. This is a resurrection done right, and all the hype has subsequently followed along with this one just because it has been executed perfectly. This is exactly how you should handle a shoe that is this legendary. They didn't just slap a name on it just to cash in and give us what we wanted, kinda, sorta. They treated the project with the respect that it deserves from this pair, from Undefeated, which ushered in a whole new part of the sneaker culture that we all know and love today. The materials feel great, the shape is good, the color is a perfect tribute. The decision to put the Nike Air on the GR was a masterstroke, giving most of the fans the branding they actually want, while using the Jumpman on the heel for the friends and family pair to keep that mystique and that elusive vibe still alive when it comes to the Undefeated 4s. Now, some might argue that making this shoe more widely available takes away from the grail status from the original one. I don't really see it that way, because the 2005 pair will always be the original. It's the story that sets it in stone. Those 72 pairs are literally artifacts. They are a top tier in the pantheon of sneaker collections, right? The 2025 release doesn't cheapen that fact. It celebrates it. It lets the new generation of sneakerheads, and even me as an OG, who could only dream of owning this pair of shoes back in the day, finally get a piece of their history in my hands. Finally got it. I've been very selective this year on the sneakers that I've been purchasing, so this kind of, adds to that. While you really aren't just buying a shoe, you're buying a story when it comes to the Undefeated 4s. It's a moment in sneaker culture history, and it will forever be that way. Like, it's not gonna change. So, with all of that being said, bro, Where do you put this 2025 release? Is it more than just a retro? Is it just another GR sneaker that you just might want to get your hands on because of the colorway? Is it a celebration of a 20-year legacy when it comes to Undefeated, Jordan Brand, and collaborations between Jordan Brand and other collaborators that just set the bar, right? Let me know down in the comment section. Jordan Brand and Undefeated didn't just bring back a shoe, they brought back a feeling, and that's kind of what 2020-25, and that's a lot of 2020s. 2025 has been the entire year. This is easily a top contender for sneaker of the year and a must-have for any serious Jordan fans. But that's just my opinion though. You know how I do here on the set, man. I'm gonna give it to you straight. No hype, no fluff. But I really wanna know what you all think. Did Jordan Brand do it justice? Is this a cop or a drop for you? Let me know your thoughts down below. Let's talk about it, bro, because you know I live in the comment section. I try to get back to everybody in the comment section just because we want to keep the conversation going. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, man. I'm your boy Money Matt. I'm gonna get on out of here and go do something important with the rest of my day, as you should as well. Let's get these a smell. Oh, that was bars though. Peace.